So Sheldon, so great to have you here with us today. Well, so this particular Fiddler has been revised 5 times, made into a movie, produced by local theaters and schools. How does that feel to have your show been seen by so many people?
It almost feels miraculous that through Jerry Robbins, I think mostly, Jerry, who directed the show, as you know, was just inspired and so passionate about it that he had Joe Stein and Jerry Bach and I working, I think, at the top of our ability. We gave him a show, and then he took that and reshaped it and just got the best out of us. So when I see the show, I'm always just so pleased to see how the show looks and how it works and what it consists of, because it's even better than we had hoped it would be. Yeah.
So, how has it remained so successful for so many years, and what will be fresh about this one that audiences will see when it's on tour?
Well, what's always fresh about it is a new cast. I don't know who the cast will be in this one, but whether it's Danny Burston, who played it on Broadway as Tevye, or someone else, watching what a good performer, what a good musical performer does with good material is always exciting. We've had wonderful Tevyes. I've become friends with all of them. I had to be. And whoever this one is, I'm very curious to see what he does with the role. I almost said what he or she does with the role. What he does with the role. It's Joe Stein, who wrote the book, I think was inspired by both his own background, which he brought to the show, and also by the brilliance of those Sholem Aleichem stories that the show is based on. They're just such wonderful stories. They're human, they have humor, they have compassion, they have drama. They're just wonderful stories.
I would agree. So Jerry Bach was your writing partner. You guys must have had such a great relationship. Did you guys have a writing process that you guys used together?
We did. Every show started the same way. Jerry would go, we would both go into our studios. Jerry would record a piece of, he would record a piece of music that suggested to him one of the scenes or one of the characters. And when he had recorded about maybe 8 or 12 of these musical numbers, he would send me a tape. And each tape started with, Shell, I think this number is for the butcher, I think this number is for so-and-so. And sometimes I agreed with him and sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I thought, oh no, I know where that piece of music should go, and it's not for the butcher, it's somewhere else. But that's the way we always started. So that the first, on any given tape, by the way, as I say, there might have been 8 or 12 numbers, and if I found 2 or 3 of them that I could work with, I was very happy. Jerry was wonderfully generous and wonderfully creative. So maybe there would be 2 or 3 tapes, which maybe would amount to about 6 numbers. And after that, then it was up to me to come up with lyrics that he could then set. I remember when we first started working, I think the first show we did was The Body Beautiful. I was very curious. It was one thing to send me music and have me write lyrics to it. It was another thing for me to send him a lyric and wonder how well he could set it. And I remember the first time I gave him a lyric, I was so curious to see what he would do with it. And when he came back with his setting, I was thrilled. I thought, this is exactly what I hoped for. So working with him was a very exciting process because he was a creative man. And hearing what he did with my lyrics or giving me music was always wonderfully exciting.
Well, is there anything I left out that you would love for audiences in North Carolina to know about the show before it comes?
No, we tried to make it a show which would be instantly understandable to anybody who was seeing it. We realized that we were writing for an audience, some of which would be Jewish and many of whom would not be Jewish, and we wanted to make sure that non-Jewish people understood everything in the show. So, for instance, if I used a Hebrew word, l'chaim, I also used the English translation of it. In the song, it's to life, l'chaim. I thought, okay, now people will understand, whether they didn't know what l'chaim meant before, now they know. Mm-hmm. But it was always an attempt to make everything thoroughly comprehensible. Yeah. Especially because it was, to a lot of people, it was a kind of an exotic setting. The Jewish community, these small Jewish communities in Eastern Europe.
Well, thank you for your time, L'chaim.
Oh, you're more than welcome.